Hello there, welcome back. And now in this section, we're going to be looking at the next piece of equipment, which is going to be our lights. Now, the first question that comes to mind is, Kush, how many lights would we need in order to create green screen videos? Well, I know there are a lot of courses out there, and most of them tell you that you need 4 lights. That means you need 2 for the subject and 2 behind for the green screen. Well, that's not true at all. Remember, in this course, I've already mentioned a couple of times, the whole point is to teach you things in a very easy way. And what you're going to find out is later on in this course that you can actually only just use 1 light, and that will be more than enough, though I will be showing you multiple lights set up also. All the videos till now that you've seen, wherever the green screen was present, was actually shot just by using 1 light. But I'll talk more about the light setup and the amount of light required later on. In this particular section, I want to focus on what are the different types of lights that you have. What are the options available for you when it comes to the different types of light. And in this particular video, I've narrowed it down to 4 options that we're going to look at. And just like in the last video where we were looking at the backdrop, once you understood the different types of lights, we're also going to go into our computer, kind of have a more detailed discussion when it comes to shopping for these lights. And trust me, this particular video is extremely detailed, because oftentimes, just like you're doing my course, I also do a lot of different courses. And what I find often is that instructors don't really pay too much attention in explaining the nitty-gritties of lights. And I'm going to exactly do that in this video, so that by the time this video finishes, you will know exactly what you should get for your green screen videos. So let's start the discussion by first of all concentrating on perhaps the 2 most popular types of lights that I use for green screen video production, which are, first of all, this light that you're seeing closer to me, which is an LED light. And this type of a light is called as an LED surface panel or LED panel light. That's because this usually has this surface that you can see here, like a broad area, and it has small LED chips, also called as LED bulbs, that you can see here, which ultimately make it work. Okay, and we're just going to see, I'm just going to be switching it on and showing you how this works. Also, we have a very, very popular light here also. That's also an LED light. It's just that the way it's structured is different. So just like this is a panel, this type of light is called as a single source LED light. Sometimes some people also refer to it as the LED headlight. The main difference here is that as opposed to having those small LED bulbs or chips spread out over a surface area, this just has 1 large chip, as you can see, which illuminates this particular light. Now, what are some of the other differences between these 2 lights, and which one should you be going in for? I will be discussing this when we go inside a computer. Right now, let's just switch on both of these lights. Let's see how they work, and let's also talk a bit about what is kept here, which are called as modifiers, and how they can be associated with these lights and why do you need them. Let's first of all start this LED light, the LED panel light. All right, so you can see that I have this LED light plugged in, and they also work on batteries, so you can use them that way also, and it's very easy. You just switch them on like this and the lights go on. And the best part about these LED lights and most of these lights is that you can actually change the color temperature also. So right now you're kind of seeing a mixed light, right? That's because all the rows of those bulbs or those chips are on, okay? But they have dedicated rows for a cooler color temperature or a warmer color temperature, and you can actually change that just like this. Right now you can see this is only the cooler color temperature, okay? Kind of resembles the fluorescent color temperature. But if you want a warmer light, then you can do that also like this. So you can kind of make this light warmer also. And these type of lights are called as bi-lights because they have 2 color temperatures which are changeable. Now the problem with this, as you're going to discover later on when we go inside a laptop, is that this light is not bright enough unless and until you get its big sibling, okay, which is going to be a bit expensive. But I'll talk more about that later when we go into our laptop and when we're doing our shopping. But these are also very popular lights. Now let's look at the single source light. All right, let's now look at my favorite type of light, which is the single source LED light. And this light that we've got here by this company called Godox, very popular company. This light is the SL60W, which is perhaps in 2021, at least going on to 2022, the most popular light that is purchased by YouTube artists, amateur to intermediate filmmakers, because this gives you a great balance between power, as you're just going to find out, and the price. So I wouldn't say it's too cheap. I'm going to show you a cheaper option than this also later on, but this gives the perfect balance as you're about to see. So the amount of power is in the name itself, SL60. So this is a 60 watt light, and the W stands for the temperature. Okay, so there's another version of this which is called SLY or SL60Y. That is the yellow light. So as you're going to see, when this comes on, this is going to give a white light. That's why it's the W here. Okay, so it's going to give that cooler temperature white light look. If you want the yellow look, the same light comes in the SL60Y format, which is the yellow light. In this case, this light is not a bi light, so you cannot change the color temperature. But let's see how powerful this is. It's almost going to wipe me out when I switch this on. So I've got it powered on, and boom, you can see it's pretty strong. And this is at 10% of the setting. You can actually do the knob behind, and you can increase its power. So right now, it's, we're nowhere close to what this can do. Now just pay attention. This is just going to keep on getting brighter. You can see right now we're kind of reaching around 50%. Okay, still not all the way to 60 watts, and boom, almost reaching to 100%. Now I'm not sure you can even see me in the video, because this is going to be absolutely very, very bright. And later on in this course, you're going to realize that having a bright light is very, very important, especially when it comes to single light setups. Because if you are planning to just use one light for your green screen videos, it has to be a very bright light. All right, now that you've seen both these lights, let's talk a bit about these accessories that are kept here, which are the modifiers, and how do they work with these lights. All right, so when it comes to using a modifier, the first question is, if you're completely new to video production, why would we use something like this on top of this light? But the reason for that is you have to modify the light in order to turn harsh light or hard light into soft light. Now, what does that mean? Now, in front of you, you can see this video where I'm just talking, and this is actually from my videography course. And you can see that the light appears very harsh, and you can see bad looking shadows. That's because this is a bare light. There's no modifier on it. But the moment you put the modifier, the light spreads out evenly, and you get a very flattering looking subject. So from your subject point of view, you have to mount a softbox, or I'm also going to be showing you another accessory or another modifier, which is the umbrella, which is much cheaper. But either one of these you will have to put now in a single source LED like this. These soft boxes attach very well because there is a mount which straight away goes on the light, as you can see in front of you. And similarly, for the surface lights, okay, or the LED panel lights that we just saw, obviously they cannot accommodate this round kind of a small soft box because the head is not like that. It's just a wide surface area. In that case, what you can do is you can also just buy an umbrella, and you can just fix it in the light stand, or sometimes even you might need to buy a bracket, which I'm going to talk about. It's called an umbrella bracket. I'm going to talk about that when we go into our shopping website. You can also attach this soft box by putting it in. It's also doable, but it's usually not very popular. Another way out of that is to use a diffuser, like a cloth, just a cloth in front of it. I'm going to also be showing you that when we go inside our laptop. But point is, you will have to modify the light, first of all, from the subject point of view, because it makes your subject more flattering. But when it comes to green screen video production, there is also another element involved, which is that if you are lighting your green backdrop separately using in a multiple light setup, then also you have to use a modifier, because the light that spreads on the green backdrop should be very even. If you don't use a modifier, that light can have hot spots on the green backdrop like you can see in front of you. You want to avoid that. You want to have a even and smooth distribution of light. So even if you use separate lights for the backdrop, like we'll be seeing later on, you will need a modifier. So modifiers are very important both for the subject and the backdrop point of view. Now that we're done with these lights, I want to show you one of my other favorite lights, which is actually very cheap and at the same time very, very bright. So let's go there. All right, now this here is one of the lights to which I'm really, really attached and I have a soft corner for, which is this old school halogen tube light. Okay, so this kind of a light is run by this little halogen tube that is there, and this is a 1000 watt light. But do not directly compare 1000 watt to a 60-watt LED light because LED is way more efficient. So I'll talk more about that, how can you equate the different powers of these lights when we are shopping. Or that time you will understand, but it's still a very, very bright light. And I have currently, over 25 online courses which have, lot of videos. And I would say 90% of these videos have been shot using only this light. That's why I love this light. It's old school and it does the job really well. Now, first of all, let me show you how bright this is. Okay, again, it's just going to wipe me out. Boom. And you can attach a modifier also like this. You'll need a bracket like I mentioned before, which I'll talk about later, but you can put a modifier like an umbrella here. These are obviously very tough to attach to a softbox because, now this is the important point, and this is the reason why I don't show this light in the first place. They get really, really hot. Okay, so they can cause injury if you are not careful. That's the only reason why LED lights, apart from saving a lot of electricity bill, is the preferred option, because these can be, if you're not careful, slightly tricky to handle. Though, to be very honest, if you're careful enough, they do the job very well because they also save you a lot of money. This light cost me 700 rupees, which is less than $10. Okay, that's how cheap they are, and they really last you a very long time and give you a very, very bright light, just like you saw. But now that you've seen all these lights, and I'm also going to be showing you a fourth light, which is something that we'll see when we go inside our laptop. But now is the time. The real meat of the discussion will happen when we go inside our laptop, go to these websites, see the different details of these websites, and also talk about the pros and cons and which one is right for you. So let's go there.